I came across this information while doing research for a story called Time Arc. I wanted to share it with other people no creationists. There's another presentation called The Paradox of History. Does creationism make sense? At the end of this presentation, I'll describe how to get the other presentation and story. The intent of this video is to get into the meat of the creationism debate and ask if creationism makes sense. Creationism is a common belief in the United States. Over 40% of the population believes in creationism, while over half believe in evolution. The survey results of this Gallup poll show pretty consistent beliefs for over 30 years. Note the definition creationism is pretty extreme, within the last 10,000 years and created in present form. I have a theory that half of those who believe in evolution can't understand how so many people can believe in creationism, while the other half are saying, oh yeah. This is a social issue. We have a large segment of our population believing in religion as science. Science is based on facts, not beliefs. We have complex, serious, and scientific issues facing our civilization today. How can we decide where to go if we don't agree where we came from? This other survey completed by Pew Research shows more detailed breakdown of beliefs. For some, questioning the belief in creationism becomes questioning the religion, which gets into arguments. Religion is an important part of many people's lives, including my own. The Lord works in mysterious ways. Why can't evolution be one of them? This debate is over 100 years old. John Scopes was prosecuted for teaching evolution in a Tennessee classroom in 1925. This was one of the greatest courtroom dramas in the 20th century. At the end, Scopes was found guilty of teaching evolution, but his case was overturned on a technicality. And the debate continues into the 21st century. There's a small industry surrounding the promotion of creationism. There's a museum, organizations that provide teaching material and political support. There's even a guy in Europe that created a full-scale replica of Noah's Ark. There are also politicians in various states and school districts that promote the teaching of creationism as an alternative to evolution. Some politicians will even explain that the Earth is only 9,000 years old, but only to the right group of people. These folks are modern-day charlatans, teaching scientific lies as religion. I understand that may sound harsh, but hear me out. If you want to learn more about the science issues, check out my other video. So what do we know from history, which goes back only 6,000 years? What is amazing is what happened in the past 1,000 years, which I call a technology spike. Only 1,000 years ago, there were 310 million people worldwide. The Arabs had a highly advanced society, discovering the scientific method. The Chinese had already discovered gunpowder and paper. By 1000 AD, the Arabs had learned the secret of paper. The Chinese used gunpowder and weapons. About 500 years later, Gutenberg had created the press and printed the Bible. Christopher Columbus discovered America, and Magellan's expedition became the first to circumnavigate around the world. By the year 2000, our modern time, population has jumped by a factor of 20 to 6 billion. Air flights available to anyone who can afford it, and we have landed on the moon. And that takes us to where we are today. In 1,000 years, we went from a feudal, agrarian society to space travel. 1,000 years sounds long relative to human lives, but it's an incredible feat in a short amount of time relative to geological or evolutionary time frame. According to anthropologists, mankind, or Homo sapiens, have been on this earth for 120,000 years. If we compare the total time of these events, starting at 6,000 and trying to go back is nearly impossible. While we've been around 20 times longer than recorded history, we know less about the 114,000 years of prehistory than what happened yesterday. The creationists believe the reason why mankind's prehistory is so limited is because we were created about 10,000 years ago. I beg to differ. Geological and archaeological facts from 100,000 to 6,000 years ago show a more complex, fascinating, nuanced, and interesting history. We don't have complete or probably accurate records to the beginning of history. Those charts on the side of the screen show some of the oldest historical records, but we have something. Prior to 6,000 years, we have almost nothing. Throughout history, when civilization was battled for supremacy, the loser was wiped off the face of the earth. That's why history goes back only 6,000 years. If we had earlier records, then history would go further back. Let's compare the geological events of mankind's timeline. The glacial plays a significant part in our prehistory. For tens of thousands of years, the glaciers were growing while the ocean levels were declining. That happens when more snow falls on the glacier than what melts. At glacier maximum, ocean levels are estimated to be 360 feet below today's level. That's because there's so much water on the planet, and when you have glaciers miles thick covering North America and Eurasia, that water's got to come from somewhere. When the glaciers melt, it's like a spring thaw, and ocean levels rise 360 feet in less than 10,000 years. If we compare this information to the years in the other slide, we find the whole glacier event occurred before recorded history, and the creationist event occurred during the glacial melt. Look, prehistoric civilizations were destroyed, but mankind survived. For more information, check out my other video, The History Paradox. You may be asking where I'm getting this data. This is a graph that shows the change in ocean levels measured around the world for the past 24,000 years. If we mark the years used in the previous graph, we see a large change in sea level just before recorded history started. The creation event is an age when ocean levels are rising 3 to 5 feet per century. Geologists have discovered that ocean levels rose up to 9 feet in a single year. This was the flood. It didn't rain for 40 days and 40 nights. It melted for about 10,000 years. The waters haven't receded. Creationism believes the generations of mankind go back to an event where humans and the universe were created by God. Creationists can't agree when the time of creation is either. Creationists believe that man has been on this planet for only about 10,000 years and deny that people lived before that date. This isn't just denying the evolutionary primates. This is ignoring the Homo sapiens who lived on this planet during the Ice Age tens of thousands of years ago. Creationism is wrong. It is anti-science. That doesn't mean religious teachings are bad. Religious writings have lasted thousands of years. That's because they are good and valuable. Religious teachings belong in ethics, morality, and ancient history classrooms, but not science. It's like grammar checking a calculus equation. Evolution teaches that life is more fluid, like a blooming flower. Mankind's been around for tens of thousands of years. What are the ethical issues for people who ignore our heritage? Is creationism immoral? Creationism isn't the only anti-science issue in the political arena. It seems that the same people promoting creationism are also questioning global warming, denying civilization's impact on the climate, and have extreme opinions regarding reproduction. If you want more detailed explanation of the scientific issues that contradict the theory of creationism, check out the video at this link. As I said in the beginning, I developed a science-based explanation in the presentation while writing the book Time Arc, A Cautionary Tale of Time Travel, A Compelling Tale of Global Warming. Time Arc is a science fiction social-political parody story. If you thought this presentation was insightful, you may enjoy the ebook. Thank you.